Okay, my name is Michael Ash, and I'm with Panda Exteriors, and I am here on behalf of the Lepowski residents on May the 8th at above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and these shingles are very hot, by the way. We are going to attempt to repair a specific section of the roof that I've already identified in pictures that I'll put inside of the file. And the reason why we're doing this is because it is very, very, very unsafe on the pitch and the slope of this roof to be able to perform this repair while still, recording the video and making sure that, we're safe and using the proper tools and methods in order to do it. And it looks like we have a repair order on this front slope of, I think, 11 or 12 missing and wind damaged shingles on this slope of this main portion of the house. And keep in mind, this is the front, and it looks to be, I think I have a total count of 13, so I don't know if anything new has came since the initial claim was filed, but I have 13 missing or damaged shingles by the wind, and I'll count them all out on video once we're done with the repair attempt. But we're going to try to do this as safely as possible with the proper tools and methods, the roof snake, and attempt to repair this one specific shingle, which I have down here inside of our control area. And what I'm going to do first is try to find the seam of this specific shingle so that I can figure out which of the surrounding shingles that I need to detach and break seal so that I can remove those nails safely and then implant a new shingle, which is right up here. And like I said, we're doing this very cautiously because this is very unsafe, and we're doing this on behalf of the homeowner to make sure that they get taken care of the right way, but then also per request of StateFarm, which we love you guys, but don't always make it easy on us contractors to be able to perform these duties up to your standards, and we want to make sure that we're doing so. And this is not safe. This is not safe. So, in the risk of my own life and my own safety, I'm going to attempt to repair this specific shingle on file for you guys and hope that it is sufficient enough for you guys to be able to utilize and make a determination off of that would serve the homeowner in the best way possible. And keep in mind, this is the front of the house, which is facing the rest of the development, street side, with an HOA involved in their community, which would also kind of, condition any repairs as a potential eyesore to where we violate their HOA standards as well. So we want to make sure that we're doing this the right way and that we're serving the homeowner properly, but we're also doing it up to your standards. So I already double check, triple check the angle so that you guys can see the amount of pressure and lift from each one of the shingles in order for me to break the seal with the proper tools, and then replace new nails once I have pulled out the existing damaged shingle. There will be a photo file you can look at right beforehand, and I have a control group over here where there's no damage whatsoever. We're going to use that in comparison. But let's get this repair done, and then as soon as I'm done with the repair, we'll do a quick walkthrough on the roof where I can safely hold the camera in order to show you. Thank you guys for working with us with Panda Exteriors. We do like to keep our long-standing relationship in the communities, and then also with every insurance company that we help. But this right here is our wind damaged shingle, and it is almost completely torn up at the top, and I have a horizontal line that's pink to represent that, hey, this is the specific tab of that shingle that we're meant to repair. Picked one in a safe location in order to do so, and then also one that didn't have a bunch of surrounding stuff that would interfere with our control area. So we're going to repair this one, but first I have to find the seam. So what I'm going to do is gently go one shingle over with the roof snake and make sure, okay, and we'll go one over here. Trying to apply pressure so that that mat, especially in the heat, oh my gosh, and my footing, the shingles are very brittle and my footing is not necessarily the safest. But now that I've got one shingle to the left, one shingle to the right, I'm gonna go one up top and see if I can find the seam. Okay, and I do have the seam. The seam is right here, which means the tab that we are specifically required to repair that was damaged is actually the end portion, so it makes things a little easy on us. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a quick couple marks as to what those shingles are that we're gonna pull out. And so it'll be 1, 2 to the left, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 that we're going to pull up in order to catch that seam, pull the shingle out, remove those nails, and then replace a new. So let me get started on that. Hopefully you guys don't see me, God, I don't even want to say it. If I do, please tell my wife and my child that I love them, and I fell out trying to do an attempted repair for StateFarm that I'm probably going to get scrutinized to shit over just for trying to do it the right way. Okay, so make sure. Okay, so this is our seam for this specific shingle. So we got 1, 2, 3. You want to go 2 over? Okay. So this tar bond is already starting to create a significant level of mat transfer, where you can see the cross thatch hairs from the back side of the shingle that have been torn that will never stick again. I'll show you what that looks like once I've pulled this initial shingle out, because I don't want to move the camera or have it freaking fall down the roof while I'm trying to do this for you. So 1, 2, 3. And barely lifting, but then also, you know, being safe not to hug the roof, because I don't want to lose my footing in these cougar paws. So we're going to go 1 up. Okay, see our nails there. And we're already losing some asphalt. Granular loss, for sure. It's kind of shaking down the roof as I do this off of each shingle. And I'm going to do this outside of my area, but you can kind of wipe the top of the shingle very gently, and those asphalt granulars will start to fall down. That's really the condition of the existing roof. And what I'm already looking at here, and just by breaking the seal and lifting less than a 45 degree in order to do so and find that seam, we haven't even caught the nails yet. I'm looking at some granular loss up at the tops, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. First thing I'm going to do, man, I'm so nervous. I've been doing this for years. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to gently remove these nails, and hopefully they did not put a bunch of extra nails in places that they probably shouldn't have. And just so you know, this specific nail is already tearing through the shingle itself. Now I was able to remove it. We're not going to reuse it because it's covered in tar, but that specific nail completely pulled through that shingle, and when I re-nail it, I'm going to re-nail it in a different hole, because it wouldn't make sense to put that same nail through that hole, which is obviously probably loose and decking and wouldn't securely hold or protect it. So now we're going to go for the second nail in this first layer. Second nail we were able to remove successfully without it pulling through the shingle. We'll put them to the side. We're going to go for the third nail. Gently doing so. Got the third nail loose, no problem. And fourth and hopefully final nail on this single first initial layer. Just pulled through the shingle. Maybe these edges are a little more susceptible. You can also see all types of debris underneath these shingles that were not even loose. So maybe they were loose at one point, I don't know, and then the heat. So let's see if we can find this nail. Gently doing it through the second layer, and it has pulled through the shingle itself. So we got that one out from the second layer. Trying to do so gently. This one out from the second layer. And because I don't want to have to lift that shingle up too much, I'm going to try and get my finger under here, but this is pulled through the second layer of shingle itself, but I got it. Whew. Wish I would have picked a cooler day. So this will be the third nail from the second row, pulled right through. Get that easily so I didn't continue to create more damage in the process. But that pulled right through the second layer. And which one am I at? Hopefully it's only one or two more. Pulled right through on this one. Okay, hopefully it should be loose. Yep. And just to show, set the roof snake in the bag for a second. Just to show, this is the wind crease shingle that we chose to repair because it was in the safest section. As you can see, it was tearing right here. This is the one that we were repairing. And then the ones next to it, which I'll point out further, just by breaking those seals and having to find the nails above, you can see a significant level of creasing and granular loss on the top portion of those shingles from the exposure. And this is just the repair shingle. I'll show you what the rest looks like in a second. So let's try and get this out of the way. We'll walk through, we'll do a video walkthrough of that. Actually, let's do this real quick. I just want to make sure I get my same spot with the camera. But just in doing that, now we have pulled the shingle out, and I really cannot see the camera in the sunlight, but look at the one that was just above. So here's what we just pulled out. Look at the one that's just above, right? And I barely got my finger under there. Look at the top of that shingle. And look at the top of this one next to it. And you can see control. The other ones around it do not look like that whatsoever, above and below. But here we are in our repair control center for just the area where we have removed the nails from the existing damaged shingle in order to replace properly. Now, the next step will be, sliding the new shingle in and being able to get the nails back in properly. And in some spots, it wouldn't make sense to go in the same hole because it's not going to hold, right? And here's a good example. So look on the right hand side. I can't see where my camera is, but look on the right hand side right here. This is just the shingle right above and just pulling out the nails. Okay, and like I was expressing, I'll do this on a different control area. The amount of granular loss, and as you're doing the repair, you can see these granulars just start sliding down the roof. And the same with my footing, right? So let me put this camera back. Bear with me, because I gotta make sure you're still getting a good angle. Okay, good. Now hopefully in nailing, that's not going to cause the camera to fall. But here is our new shingle, nice and hot. And we are going to slide this up in here and perform our repair by putting in new nails that will stick and adhere a lot better. But the level of mat transfer from the shingles that we've had to break the seal on is so significant that they will not stick again, even in replacing this new shingle into the mat here. And I'm going to try and get our exposure correct, proper alignment. Might be stuck on something. Okay, so safely, what I'm going to do is get the proper angle in so that I can place the nail into these shingles and secure it in place, and then we can move around a little bit easier, not having to worry that it's going to come out of place. So, I'm going to find my seam and right into the tar strip. I'm going to lift that shingle exactly where it needs to be for the roof snake. I'm going to try and get my first one in. These are literally the hardest tools to be able to use. We have a really stubborn nail. Please don't judge me. So we got the first one into place. A really stubborn second nail. The decking itself is not allowing that nail to go back in. And this is the real life stuff that you experience as a contractor trying to perform repairs, because certain unforeseen things like this will continue to happen when you are doing construction. If decking is not solid in certain areas, you'll feel that nail sink in. Sometimes when it's really solid but it's got bounce, right, between the trusses, you're not getting that freaking nail in easily at all. And that's I don't know who said that this was the industry standard. But it is one of the hardest tools in order to work with properly, in order to perform a repair. So unsafe. All right, got our third nail in. Probably be one of the longer repair videos, but I hope it serves its purpose. Got our fourth one in. right, we got one final nail, and we can show what's been going on over here the whole time. That was our last and final nail. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take our chalk, remove this belt, and take a look together. Okay, so as you can see, we have multiple areas of the roof where we are missing and damaged shingles, and this is the control area that we chose to repair here. One, because like I said, it's in the safest spot, and what I'm trying to do is adjust, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 behind me, 10, 11, 12 horizontal lines representing missing or wind damaged shingles. This was the specific control area where our ATR was performed, and this is the shingle that we just repaired. And as you can see, it's nice and tight, it's secure. However, look at this significant level of creasing up at the top of these above performed repair shingles, right? So here's our repair. We had to do 1, 2, 3, 4 above, and look at all 4 that are directly above. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then right above it, this one's already starting to tear. Right there, 1. Look at the top of that. 2, 3. Look at that. That, as you can see above, here are our sealed rows. Can't lift them up, can't lift them up, can't lift that up. Well, that one's kind of coming up already. But you can see as this one's starting to come up, above it, there's no creasing or granular loss like there is here, right above, directly above our repair, which means, you know, in multiple different ways, the roof, you know, either justifiably has to have a count of repaired shingles as to be tripled, right? Because you have to affect the row above, 2 rows just to repair one specific section, right? And then in doing so, now that I'd have to repair this to then create this and create this just to repair this, right? Now that means to repair this, I'm going to create damage to these 2 existing rows above. And just to show for the level of mat transfer, right? And I'm trying not to lift the shingle too high, right? But there is a significant level of mat transfer that specifically would show that this specific shingle that we had to break the seal on would never stick again. And if I was to lift it up front and show you behind it, but then break your policy of a 45-degree angle or less, it would probably show for tears and holes in the back of the shingle where the thatching and the mat has been exposed and torn out, just because of breaking the seal safely with your proven proper methods and tools in order to do it, right? Look at this level of mat transfer. Look at that, right? If we were doing a roof inspection with one of your adjusters and one of our damaged shingles, like let's just say this was a wind damaged shingle that we quoted on, right? and the adjuster or inspector came out to take a look and lifted that specific shingle up to look, they would specifically say, oh, well, that's mechanical, right? That's man-made, that's vandalism, that was forced. And that's exactly what we have in place just by using the proper tools and methods to perform a repair up to StateFarm standards, and then also, you know, take care of the homeowner properly, right? So here we are with a triple count of damage. So if there's 12 plus damaged shingles, that would automatically mean 36 would have to be accounted for in terms of repair. And then in performing that repair of 36 shingles, we are going to create more damage to the surrounding ones, where then we'd have to repair them as well. And as you can see, this damage is pretty spread out across the roof, right? Some of it getting up towards the top of the ridge, which repairing that properly, we would have to tear the ridge off to, you know, properly repair and replace new shingles in front of it. And then we're already replacing in full the back slope. Well, you know, thank you. And I'm sure the homeowner is very grateful for that as well. But the wind damage from Mother Nature is clear, right? The whole area has been affected by storm-related damage, and many other of the homes in the area have had their roofs replaced since the original roof on the home, where, you know, they had various different insurance companies that equated for the same level of damage and chose to replace their entire roof, right? And here we are replacing in full the back slope of this roof, yet the front slope, which would now provenly multiply, spread like a cancer, and domino effect across the roof just to perform the repairs that are prescribed and diagnosed, right? And then we'd have to repair what we're repairing because we're creating more damage. And on a roof this size, a basic up and over, like this is the front. Look at this beautiful neighborhood of high-end homes, right? This is the front-facing view of all of the community. And we want to do a patch job, repair, in all these specific sections strung out across the roof when we're actually fully replacing the back? What sense does that make? Right? How does that homeowner that is paying for the policies for you guys expect to feel like they were properly taken care of? You know? And then with all these spread like cancer damages that we're going to continue to create just like this, in performing a basic repair with the proper tools and methods, right? What would that look like across this roof, right? It's spread out in all these different angles. Now we've got all this patch job on the front of their beautiful home facing this gorgeous community. And I'm sure their HOA is going to be pretty pissed too. And so how can we come together and take care of this homeowner properly so that, hey, look at all these missing shingles. I think some of them have, you know, occurred since the initial file of the claim, which means that if we perform a repair all over the damn place and just potentially ignore, you know, one or two fraction of a section that would be less than a shed's worth of shingles to replace, right? Then what happens next year when everything that we have repaired successfully, hopefully, right? What happens to the areas that we didn't? Then next year or next storm or this summer or whatever it is, they got to call StateFarm back based off of Mother Nature storm-related damage for all the areas that didn't get addressed properly the first time, with a 5-star company that's going to make sure that this is the last roof that they ever have to put on their home, and they would never have to lean on StateFarm in the future, because not only was that roof performed up to par and taken care of the right way, but automatically upgraded into an architectural grade shingle at no added cost to StateFarm whatsoever, just because we believe in doing the right thing. And then this homeowner doesn't have to incur wind or Mother Nature related damage outside of a significant event here in the future. And then we can come back and properly warranty our work in this home and take care of the homeowner the right way for, you know, all of the avoided costs and deductibles and headaches that they would have to go through in the future for all the stuff that's not addressed, right? If we're going to replace the back, this is basic up and over. Let's just do this the right way. Like, we're here to stand behind the homeowner. We're here to stand behind with you guys and follow your guidelines. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's really frustrating because we just want to do the right thing for people. right? And I don't believe that's the right thing to do, to perform repairs all over the front of this house, especially repairs that are just going to be more and more of a pain in the ass, where every single time that we have to perform this repair spread out across the roof, we're not only creating more damage, but then we're running into unforeseen things where it's like, oh man, I wish I would have brought 2 more bundles of shingles along with me so that I could continue doing this the right way. And then hopefully State Farm is going to say, oh yes, okay, he did do it the right way. Let's make sure they get paid for all their work and all the stuff that they had to replace, right? Like, come on. Let's avoid all this headache and take care of this homeowner. We're going to do it together, and we're going to warranty that work for the next 30 years. All right? We're going to bring them into an architectural grade shingle just like that, and they're not going to have to pay another dime for it. And this roof will look absolutely fantastic, and we're not doing a patch job, right? Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Michael Ash with Panda Exteriors. This is my truck. This is the ATR for the Lepowski residence on May the 8th. And, you know, I do have a count that I did for the front slope of 12, so I don't know if that's in accordance with your guys' guidelines of the initial claim. Let me know if it's not. If it's not, it, you know, probably means I missed things, or there's more that has occurred since. And that's, you know, the problems that arise in extenuously drawing out a claims process to where, hey, by the end of this, only more damage is incurred, because this is a freaking pretty windy day right here. And here's our control area. So we got a missing shingle here. Got a damaged, wind damaged shingle right here. And this is the control area, just like I've created a box over here. And as you can see, trying to get out of the shadow line, these shingles are taut, right? Well, some of them have some zippering, that's for damn sure, but they don't have that level of creasing, you know, at all. These are taut right here, very taut, very taut, very taut, and you don't see any level of that same creasing that we see over here inside of our repair section, right? Pretty insane. And what this is absolutely showing for is that this ATR attempt, by any standards of a contracting perspective, and I would say 9 out of the 10 insurance companies that we work with, this repair would be considered a fail. And I honestly believe, you know, I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to agree with the homeowner and what's right for the homeowner. And that's a fail. That's clear signs. We have to literally triple, at least, if not quadruple or sextuplet, the amount of repair order for each shingle, right? And then in repairing that, now we got to repair more because we've only created more damage. Asking you one specific question. 2, actually. How the hell are we going to do this? And how can we take care of the homeowner the best way? Thank you so much.